Hi. Welcome back to
another
episode of Jam with Jim and Cam.
No, this is so pathetic. We recorded 10 of these, and then we only released one. Because we realized the files were too big to download from off of Google Drive onto my phone.
But
we're back. This is special.
Yeah, this is our special edition.
Because it's about our own music.
Despite the fact that our album's been out for like an hour.
Yeah.
Just in case, for like any one person who's gonna care about this.
I've gotten a couple good responses already. I just like the idea of having this, you know. Also, this serves as a nice little time capsule thing. It is currently March 14th, Pi Day.
2020.
But yeah, Pi Day 2020. Currently, COVID-19 is a huge thing. So I have 2 weeks off of school, and then at least
I have an entire semester off.
the rest of the semester off.
The rest of the semester off until April 25th. So that's cool.
That's pretty fun. So COVID-19 has delayed and like canceled literally everything. All of culture in general has been completely wiped out.
Except our
album that couldn't stop us.
It's going. So I think it's just we're just gonna do a little commentary track, talk about how we wrote it, why we wrote it, why we named the songs what we did. So let's get started.
Let's go.
So it's not. Why is it not fucking playing?
This is going great so far.
We'll fix it in post.
We're gonna get out all the trees and add some sunlight.
Add some lighting.
Yeah.
From the sides.
We're gonna add a lens flare.
So,
we wrote this backwards, technically.
We did write this backwards. Cameron, the first song we ever wrote for the album was Abigail.
I wrote Abigail in November of 2018. That's like almost a year and a half ago, which is really crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Feels so close.
And then, once we started writing this album, this was the first song that we actually finished.
Yeah. Very short time, too.
In a very quick time. I think we wanted to do like a 1 hour song challenge.
Yeah, see how much we can get done within an hour.
We got a good chunk of it done.
We got pretty damn far.
So we got this. And I don't know. I like
church organ.
I like church organ. My favorite part of this one, though, is the glockenspiel melody.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is the only motive that doesn't come back.
No, not at all.
I think I have it in, like, inversion and backwards. in, like, take a breath or something.
Oh, man.
But that's literally it. It's the only motive that doesn't come back, which is a damn shame because I really like it.
I remember you were just like, what melody could go on with these chords? And you just were like, dun, dun, dun. Shit, no.
Okay.
Like, hell yeah.
Oh, and then we have a weird psychedelio.
You spent like at least a half hour working that out.
Yeah. Because the whole thing is produced in Audacity.
We got a $0 budget going.
We had a $0 budget. Things were written in MuseScore and then produced in Audacity. So we're kind of
days go by without
originally these weren't supposed to like go together. These two songs were like gonna be separate things.
But
and then I went to Cam and I went, what if we just had like a weird into Abigail?
Oh, man.
And then I went, okay, let's do that.
Perfect.
Sure, why not?
Really, they could be separate tracks, but what's the fun in that?
Yeah.
There's no fun in that.
I think this is way better.
I like the piano part a lot.
I really like the piano part.
This is like the one song I'm truly proud of because I came up with it all at once and I wrote the chords and stuff as I was writing it.
The Suite was weird.
The Suite, you were just like, hey, I'm thinking of putting like 4 tracks to the first side.
Yeah. So we wanted to get it out. And I had like 3 pieces that I had written, but they were only like a minute long each.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if we just throw a suite in on the first side?
Perfect. And they're all pretty short.
And it's like the Palatine Suite, just cause.
Yeah.
Just cause why not? It's a good name for a suite.
Yeah.
I called this one Basement because it reminded me of like our friend's basement, just playing video games.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Oh, and then Summertime Waltz.
I like the idea of it, just the 4 short tracks, because it's very easily digestible, you know?
Yeah.
It's all very short, and as compared to the second side, which is very like dense and like very structured, this is just kind of like...
The second side is very like, it goes in order and it has to go in that order.
Exactly, yeah, no.
Well, the first side, the suite is just kind of like something we could do.
Yeah.
That would, you know, it got the idea of Palatine across, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like when I wrote this, I was thinking of like Street Fest.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I can see that.
It reminded me of, for anyone who's been there, like House on the Rock in Wisconsin and Street Fest. That was it.
Yeah, I got like a vibe from that. Yeah. It was either this or like the carnival, because it's something about Oregon. Oregon just does so much.
Well, I have 3 different organs. I took the sheet music and I exported it as 3 different organ like sets, 3 different organ sound fonts. And then I mixed them all together. And then for this one, I had 3 different synthesizers run.
I really like this one. This sounds like the first thing I thought of when I heard this. If anyone has played the Narnia, like the Chronicles of Narnia Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe DS game, it sounds so much like the music in the background. That's what I was like. Wait, hold on.
When I heard this, I was like, I wanted it to be like air and kind of floaty, and then I realized it just sounds like a fucking water level.
It does, yeah, it does. That too.
It just sounds like a water level.
I was like, why?
It's really kind of rad. I'm a big fan.
I kind of like it, yeah.
But yeah, it's just like 3 different synthesizers running, and I picked like the floatiest kind of synthesizers I could. And then there's one that sounds like a kind of a fucking lute, which I don't know where that came from, but I don't know. I'm a big fan of it. I like the run down because it just kind of does this like
yeah. I don't know. I'm a big fan of all like of 3 of these. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the next one. I like what you did with that one.
I started with like that. I started with like a simple idea, because I think my structure of writing is have one simple idea and then build onto it, and then just kind of and then go back and narrow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Which the one after this one, the title track, yeah.
Oh, I love the title track.
Yeah, no. I call this one Sprawl number 3. It's a because here's my thinking, is that Beach Boys, one of our influences, they named one of their albums Shutdown Volume 2. They didn't make another album called Shutdown. Their music was just featured on a compilation album called Shutdown. And so I was like, using that same logic, I'm gonna call it Sprawl 3. Sprawl 1 and Sprawl 2 are songs by Arcade Fire on The Suburbs, and I was like, I'm just gonna rip that.
Just take that one.
Perfect.
But I think it works. I like it. Just reminds me of the suburban sprawl, you know?
I remember I sent you a video. I was like, hey, I got this chord progression we can work with. And I sent it to him in 3 different ways. One was on organ, one was like just triplets on the piano, and one of them was like a weird guitar thing. And we both decided we liked the piano one the best, because we don't want this album to be too organ heavy, but also, I don't know, I like the piano sound. The piano has the best MIDI sound.
I do like the piano sound, and I think that a lot of the stuff you write, I think all the stuff you wrote was straight piano stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm just a big... I really like it. I think you can write pretty good piano stuff. Like, Abigail has a...
I don't know why I'm decent at it, because I can't play piano. I can't play the actual instrument. I'm just...
Abigail has this weird, like, romantic dance feel.
Yeah.
Like a romantic era chord progression.
A
lot of chromaticism.
I couldn't pinpoint exactly where it should come from. I was like, maybe it's like a 20s thing. I don't know. It's just a very light, like, bouncy kind of thing, you know? My idea was to have, like, 3 phases. One was, like, the intense beginning. This was, like, the more reflective middle. And then, like, the last part was supposed to be sort of uncertain.
I like this part.
Yeah.
Right? You think it ends and then it comes right on back?
No. I gotta say, I had such a hard time just, like, trying to make this longer. Because I got to like the end of the middle section, I was like, this is only like 1 minute and 20 seconds. I have to lengthen this out to at least 2 minutes. My goal was 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and I got there.
There's I think that's like the biggest thing with us is that a lot of times if it doesn't come like at once, you can't like force it.
Oh yeah, no. This was work. This is like over the course of a few weeks. I took at least like a month break from writing this, and I came back to it, and it flowed. I like this last part a lot. People really liked it.
I do.
I sent the song to people. They're like, "What do you think of this?" And I'm like, "The ending was really satisfying." I was like, "Good." I like that. I turned on the app I use. There was like a reverb thing, and I turned it like all the way up just so it like echoed a lot.
Then we go on to our second side.
This is like 98% Jimmy. 2% was like my vocals, and then like the reprise at the end. That's pretty much it.
Because originally, we'll get to it, but we didn't have plans for like the lullaby at the end.
Oh no!
Until like the very end, because I realized that like, it's supposed to be like. Oh, also I like that part.
Yeah.
Because the chimes are doing the Finch motive, the bass line for Finch, and that's the entire like second side is just building up to Finch, which I'm a very big fan of. I really like how Finch turned out.
Oh yeah, no, that's one of my favorites.
But the whole idea of this second side for me, and the album in general really, was like just a night where you're trying to go to bed, but your thoughts are just racing and you can't sleep. And you're kind of like jumping from one idea to the next, which is why so many of these transitions, especially on the second side, are so like quick.
Yeah.
And they just kind of jump from one
super
thing to
jarring,
the next.
Yeah.
I
like that
which
vibe, though.
was very convoluted to do sometimes, switching, especially in MuseScore, because you couldn't like compose a song on one sheet from beginning to end. You would have to do it in sections, or you would have to have every instrument you would use, which would be like
that's so awful.
45 different instruments.
That's so terrible.
On one sheet. So I'd have to do it, compose it in sections, and then slam it together
The score
in Audacity.
That would be so tough to read. I would hate that.
I really like this part. I was very worried it would sound like too Disney.
No.
But it just has like a nature feel.
I really like this chord progression. I played this so many times. I probably annoyed people to the point that, but like, now it's in context of this, so I feel like it'll... Yeah.
So I got this chord progression just kind of out of nowhere. I pulled it because I was watching Love and Mercy, of all things, the Brian Wilson biopic.
So good.
And I turned around and I was like, let's play something on the piano. Why not? And I basically got that chord progression fully formed, just out of thin air, and I went, okay, sure, why not? And it's a really fun chord progression because it's a line cliche down and then back up. And here's the thing, I don't know what key it's in. I don't know if it's in B flat Lydian or F major. I think I resolved it in F major at the very end of Finch.
Yeah, you did.
Take a Breath is one of my favorites. Just
what instrument is this supposed to be? What's
the
MIDI?
The MIDI is a trumpet with a harmon mute.
Oh, now I hear it. It sounds like very like Egyptian.
I went with because
Arabian.
I used I have a lot of like harmonic minor in there, so it has this very like klezmer kind of feel to it. This is my favorite one. Just that's a 5 to a 1, but I tripled the leading tone. So it just has this big like whoa,
that is so cool. I love that.
But Take a Breath has like a bunch of sections that I'm very proud of.
No, someone said this is like their favorite.
I
was like, okay.
I really enjoy this one.
Yeah.
Just because it's very like out there and different from the rest of the stuff on the album. Like it has that same like dense instrumentation that I'm a very big fan of doing. But it just has like the instrumentation is nothing like I did in the other ones. It's probably the most like developed string writing I had on the whole album. And then the motive comes back for Finch.
Oh, that's my favorite one. Out of
how I developed the motive for Finch.
That's my favorite one.
It's my favorite one.
It's so good.
Just because of that fade and then the trumpet like falling out. It's
because I wasn't expecting it, and then it was just so satisfying. It's cohesive. It's so good. It's so good. That fucking love that. That is such a good part.
I'm very proud of Take a Breath. This video's gonna just turn into us jerking ourselves off about how good our album is.
I don't know.
But I think that it's because there's a lot of stuff in here that I think if you're not listening for it, you're not gonna hear. Oh, and then Carnival Fugue and F Sharp.
Oh my god. That is a fun story.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
this one is good.
There was
First off, I like this like bassoon transition because this whole like thing is working as a suite.
Mm-hmm.
It's going from start to finish. So I needed a transition from like this one key to C, then to D, then to F Sharp.
Just do what I did. Just do chords in each key, and then you get that's the next one.
So I really like what I did for that, but this is just a nice transition to get to like an oboe piece. And this I wrote for a different piece.
I was gonna say
there was originally gonna be like a vocal piece. It was gonna be an intro for a vocal piece, and I based it off of "You Are My Sunshine."
Oh my god.
/ Old Master Painter from Smile.
Oh my god.
With the pizzicato strings.
It's so great.
Which I had to do like the 30-second partial of one to get that kind of like offbeat pizzicato feel.
Oh my god.
And then I really like this transition from C
really
to F Sharp, where it just kind of like creeps up.
Okay, so Beach Boys, more Beach Boys shit. They released like a single a couple months ago. There was like a Dennis Wilson song, and then there was a carnival thing based on like an old, like a traditional song. So I played that while we were like trying to write more stuff at his house, and it just, I don't know, it was so repetitive and loopy.
I went, give me a key center.
No, I just played a random chord.
I went, okay. And originally we got one that sounded like a Shawn Mendes song.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We're like, this is
just a Shawn Mendes song.
It's so funny.
And then we changed it up so it wasn't, thank God.
I remember that. Oh, that was so funny.
And then this is the actual fugue part.
That's Lee.
That's Lee Blank.
He's so good. That was so funny. He was like, he wanted me to do this part.
Yeah.
But I never got around doing it. We were like, hey Lee, you're gonna be a carnival barker? He was like, what? And that's it. So we drove to his house and we picked him up and we went back to Jimmy's house and we just recorded it. It was just...
This one and Blink are probably my two favorite ones production-wise. They were my two favorite ones to do. Because I got an Egyptian drum, like a doumbek it's called. And if you hit it with your thumb on like the bell of the drum, it makes like a ship's bell noise. And I Paul stretched that out and it gave like a scrape. And then I did like laughs and I stretched them and it was just real fun to do.
Wow, we actually recorded some of the audio for this right where we are.
Oh yeah.
That's so weird to think about.
This is, again, I really like how this one turned out.
It turned out really well.
Just because, like, how, especially with headphones on, just the, like, utter chaos of the blinks.
Oh my god.
It freaks me out still.
Yesteryear got stuck in my head. Like,
Yesteryear, I based off House on the Rock. Because they have this one part called The Streets of Yesteryear where they have a giant calliope. And just, I love the idea of like a calliope, and that's what I'm going for here. And I also kind of wanted to like reprise Abigail a bit, like the instrumentation of it.
Oh yeah, I love the organ. Organ is my favorite instrument.
But this is just like a more mellow organ about it, you know?
No, it's definitely not like punchy.
Like
not the giant chords we used at the beginning. This was stuck in my head.
And that's Celeste, and I fucking love Celeste and how it sounds. It just has this kind of like music box feel to it.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Which I think really like helps this like, because you're starting to fade off, and this is leading into like the big thing, which is where like why I started to include the like psychedelic again.
Yeah, I remember you showed me this, and you're like, "Do you think we did it too many times?" I'm like, "I think we do it enough. We need to do it a few more times." I don't know.
I'm a big fan of it
because it like distorts it, and then it just like becomes not, and then it just does this.
Yeah, and it just and this is probably the most seamless one we have. I really like it
because it just
and then
this.
Oh boy!
The same night we recorded Lee's part for Carnival Fugue, we had to record the vocal part for this. I did not know the melody, so I couldn't sing along with the track itself. We just had a metronome going, and I had to sing along with it. But at some points, I sang a little too fast, so we had to slow down the audio
I had
just
to
a
cut
bit.
the audio and slow it and then tune it up.
So sometimes I sound flat, and sure, maybe it's because I was flat, but other times it was just like, because you had to slow down the audio just by this much.
Just by like a little bit. And I
tiny
tried
bit.
to tune it up, but I'm not sure I got it sometimes.
No, there's only like a couple instances I was like, ooh, I'm flat, but yeah, no.
But
I like how it turned out though.
I love this instrumental.
This is the first thing you sent me, I think.
Yeah, I sent, when we decided like to do the album, the first thing I sent was the chord progression to Finch, which it's just on the piano. And Cameron really seemed to like it, so I was down with
Like,
it.
fucking ate it up.
And then all these lyrics we wrote at a Denny's one night.
Oh my god, I remember the paper that I wrote on. There's like, there were still like grease stains on it. Oh
This
my god.
so this is all written in like a symphonic form. So fast, slow, dance, fast. And this slow movement is probably my favorite one. Just because of this moment here.
Oh, I like that.
It just kind of like falling into that. I love it. But no, it has a more like nature kind of feel to it, which I'm a big fan of. It's like a brief respite in this moment where your head's supposed to be just racing, you know? Because this is like the peak of it in my mind. Like the climax of your head just fucking going. Just because of how busy the instrumental is. And you can really hear it with headphones on.
I really like this part.
Oh yeah.
Like in the background, it's so good. God, so good.
Then we do that.
It's such a bizarre transition, but I really like it. The Foley.
I
was
wanted
so
to do
good.
I wanted to do like a dinner thing.
So we just recorded ourselves just
Just
clinking.
scraping plates and clinking
Well, and
knives.
we just like 3 separate recordings and layered them on top of each other.
My favorite one is the pouring water.
You said to pour water.
It's just to pour water between a
It
glass.
was so funny.
But I think it turned out really well, you know?
Oh yeah, no.
This is also like my first foray into writing for strings. This is the first thing I wrote for strings, which was very intimidating.
And it goes back into the kind of like
I do like it. Fast, slow dance, and then a recap.
That's what I want to work on, is because for Too Much in a Year, it like, you didn't have like a theme throughout. It had sections, and I never really called back. I only had like the one callback towards the end of it. So this new piece that I'm currently working on is definitely more cohesive, and it has different sections, but it still sounds like it's the same piece. It's not just like changing time signatures and everything. I think it's what this works really well. I really like this. That's what I like about this.
Well, because I think this is my favorite, one of my favorite pieces that I've ever written. Just because it's so cohesive and like together. I'm very proud of how this came out. Especially just the instrumental. But I think all the lyrics are pretty solid too. Oh, and then this part where it's like three verses together.
I was not expecting this. When I first heard it, I was like, whoa, that's good. I like this. It's weird. I did not listen to this entire thing until like beginning to end until like today. Because like Google Drive makes it so impossible because the files are in the wrong order. It's such a pain. I had to like fish through.
My favorite part in that like third part, the final one, is where light and dark are said at the same time.
Oh yeah.
And then like kind of works as a phrase in itself. I just really like how Finch came out. It's also like a 4.5-minute song, which I never thought I'd be able to write.
Yeah, that's a decent length.
Oh, and then Lullaby for Their Lonely Hearts. So this one, I realized at some point that like Finch had too big of an ending. Oh no, it paused. So I realized Finch was like too big of an ending for like going to sleep. So I wanted to write a lullaby, and Cameron, at the same time that I had this idea, texted me and he goes, "Hey, I want to do like a reprise of Abigail."
But like a really like a sad reply again.
And I went, "This is perfect. This is exactly what we needed to do."
Oh yeah, no, it worked out really well. Again, more influence from Arcade Fire, again from The Suburbs, which is just such a good example of. It's just, yeah, everything about it. I love the structure of it, because like you take the opening song, which is already like super like melancholic, and then you just warp it and make it slow down and even more like sad. So I wanted to take this song Abigail, which is already just like this kind of like this love letter, and then like how do I make it more sad?
Make it sad.
And then boom, it's just like it didn't work out. That's it.
I really like the opening section of this.
Yeah.
Because it's like strictly contrapuntal and very much like a lullaby. Like I had to bust out my theory knowledge for that one.
You sure did.
And then it goes into this just fun like piano piece. Like it's a real fun piece to play.
Yeah.
Oh man, this was a fun piece to write. Just because I wasn't worrying about like instrumentation or anything, it was just strictly a piano thing, which I was very excited about. I don't know what else to say about this. I mean, it's just a lullaby.
And then all of a sudden it just wakes you up. I like that.
Yeah.
Towards the middle, it just kind of like you're like. Oh.
Towards the middle, there's a
Boom,
big
you're
jarring bass note.
You're like, oh.
That I absolutely love. Just like a little hint of, oh, not yet.
No,
Don't go to bed yet.
You're nearly there, but not quite.
This is another one of my favorite songs on the album. Just because it's like, again, a cohesive thing. I think that's like the theme. Oh god, just that big bass note.
You just don't expect it, and then it works so
nicely. Which I like adding the like drama to a lullaby. I think that's the big theme, is that just having a cohesive song makes us proud of it.
Because like it's very easy to just like want to go in all these different directions and then not do it, like follow through with any of them.
Yeah.
So you have to like discipline yourself to like, okay, how can I take this and tie it back into what I've previously established?
This section I really like, just because it was like variations on a theme for Abigail, basically.
I love it.
So that was just like a very ornamented Abigail, and then it goes into this.
And the lyrics are just super depressing and sad.
And this was another one that was weird to like sync up the audio.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because I think the recording that I had might have been at a different tempo.
Maybe, yeah.
Or something. Because it was wildly off.
Which is funny,
and it couldn't have just been Cameron's fault, because it was just that far off.
It might have been, because what's bizarre is I remember singing along to the track.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened.
I have no idea.
Something got messed up along the way. It's fine.
And then just a nice little fade out.
And then we made the album cover last. We had a number of different ideas.
Originally we wanted to do like a tilted thing with like a tree in the middle.
Yeah.
It mainly involved like the two of us standing somewhere and having the frame tilted.
Yeah.
Just
and then the first suggestion that he made was just like having a tree in between us, having it tilted 45 degrees.
And then like flipping each side.
Yeah. And then the next one, I was like off the cuff, I was like, hey, there's a trail here with some trees on the side. What if we just stood off to the side of it? Then we took the photo, and I was wearing my hoodie with my hood up, and like from far away, I just looked like Slender Man. So we couldn't use that. And then I was like, we have a reservoir that's like nearby my house. So
and then it was very like dark and gloomy that day.
Oh, I'm proud of what I did with the photo, because it was a very like gray sky. And just through like changing the saturation and like lighting, it just turned into this weird, colorful, like purple and orange thing.
And I love how that turned out. I really like the orange. That's why. And then later on, I think like probably about a week ago.
Yeah.
At this point, I went, hey, what if we just like fucking doodle over the sky?
Oh yeah, no. You're really good at that. I've tried to replicate that.
I love the sky and the colors, and I think like it still comes through, and I'm very glad about that. But I love the just these like weird doodles, these very intricate doodles.
It's intense.
That I think really kind of get the idea of the album across. And I spent I think that whole cover to do was like 5 hours.
I was gonna say, I'm like, that looks like it took a lot of work.
It did.
And then I was like, boom, lens flare. I want a lens flare.
I like the lens flare, though.
Part of it, the lens flare was like, what I'm most intrigued by is that we took that picture on a very cloudy, dreary day, and somehow it managed to look like sunset. So I wanted to have the idea that the sun was actually there. There was no sun out.
No.
it turned yellow, and so I was like, it would make sense if the sun was out, there'd be a bit of a lens flare.
Which is why I included that like weird circle thing around that yellow area.
Yeah,
because I wanted to get the idea of like, there's the sun.
It like grounds the drawings onto the image itself,
Onto the sky.
so it looks like it's just a part of it. I don't know. I really like the idea of it.
I love how the album cover turned out.
Oh yeah, no, it very easily could have been like half-assed and just.
Yeah, some stupid us standing on a trail,
and I don't
looking
think
like Slender Man.
I feel like it looked way more indie when we did the tree thing.
Yeah,
and this I like the idea of it there being like way too much like headspace around us. Just breaking every like rule of like photography,
of composition,
just have most of it just be nothing, which worked really well. I think
it did work really well. I think having that emptiness and then filling it with just a bunch of stuff,
it works out so well.
Kind of gets across the idea of the album as well,
and like the texture of like the logos and stuff, it fits in really well. I don't know. I like.
I think it works. I think it all works together. Pretty well.
I'm excited to see what I can come up with next because I like this is. It feels good to finally put something out there.
Yeah, I feel very good about this. I feel good about what we did. I hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, no, God, I hope so.
I really hope people enjoy it.
A couple people were like, yeah, it's cool. And someone has been texting me, like, hey, I want to help you out next time. I was like, oh, okay, already? Awesome.
Already? Well, we got nothing yet, so that's cool.
Cool, thanks. I don't know, yeah. Because if you told me a year ago that, like, the first project I'd ever, like, put out there, like, any type of media or art would be an album, would not have believed you.
Yeah. It feels good to get it out there though, and I'm very proud that we're doing this, and I want to continue doing it.
I think it's good to get into that headspace of where we were at because otherwise I think it helps people like appreciate.
It's so easy to lose that
because so much of like my appreciation for songs and artists is like the context behind like their work and like little things. Because if we didn't point out little touches here and there that would otherwise go like overlooked, I think
it loses part of the value of the song.
Yeah.
So this has been episode 11/2.
Technically 2
of
Jam with
Jim
Jim
and Cam. See you later.
See you in like 3 years.